Good day, everyone. We are the Group 10, and our topic is all about passage planning entitled Ek this Voyage Planning. Here are the members: yours, Cadet Tetraralph James, Cadet Utuan Christian, Cadet Unabia Erlin May, and Cadet Varga Adonis. To start, the purpose of voyage planning is to adequately prepare for a voyage, provide the necessary support to the bridge team, and ensure that the ship can be navigated safely between ports from berth to berth. A voyage plan should cover ocean, coastal, and pilotage waters. All navigators must be briefed regarding the proposed navigation throughout the voyage from berth to berth. If the plan needs to be changed for any reason, all navigators must be briefed thoroughly about these changes. The voyage plan should be in compliance with all statutory requirements and the practice of good seamanship. The STCW requires all intended voyage to be planned in advance, taking into consideration all relevant information. All courses laid down shall be checked before the commencement of the voyage. Company Policy and Procedure 1. Every management or ship-owning company must have a comprehensive safety management policy. It should provide practical guidance concerning safe navigation, watchkeeping, and include the following. First, a clear statement of the company's safety policy. Second, the importance of the safety of life and safety of the ship taking precedence over all considerations. Third, it should specify the bridge watchkeeping duties and procedures and the responsibilities of all watchkeepers. Fourth, the required procedures for voyage planning and its execution should be clearly defined. Fifth, only the use of the appropriately corrected recent edition charts and up-to-date nautical publications should be allowed. Sixth, procedures to ensure that all navigation equipment and main auxiliary machinery are regularly maintained, available, and fully operational. Seventh, there should be included suitable device concerning all main emergency responses. Eighth, a no-blame accident and near-miss reporting procedures should be encouraged. Ninth, the need to record all voyage events and frequent ships position recording procedure. 10. Clear procedures for handling over-familiarization of new staff changes of crew. 11. Provide a recognized system for identifying competence of seafarers, any training need, and suitably of staff prior to sending to ships. And last, emphasize the importance of regular contact with the company, including the designated person under the ISM code and keeping the company aware of all relevant events and concerns. Voyage Plan Consideration 1. A voyage plan should aim to establish the most favorable route while maintaining appropriate margins of safety and safe passing distances. It should also provide contingencies in the event of emergencies. When deciding upon the most appropriate route, the following main factors should be taken into account. First, the marine environment and possible weather routing. Second, the adequacy and reliability of the chart's hydrographic data along the route. Third, the availability and reliability of navigational aids, coastal marks, light, and radar conspicuous targets for position fixing along the route. Fourth, any routing constraints imposed by the ship's draft and load line type of cargo. Fifth, consider areas of high traffic density and use traffic separation lanes when possible. Sixth, ability to continually monitor weather forecast and expected current, tidal, wind, swell, and visibility conditions. Seventh, avoid areas where dangerous and adverse current effects could occur. Eighth, take into account ship operations that may require additional sea room, tank cleaning, or pilot embarkation. 9. Follow traffic regulations and recommendations such as ship routing schemes and ship reporting system. 10. Check the reliability of the propulsion, navigation, and steering system on board prior to departure. And last but not the least, benefit from owner and others' experience with the planned route with the type of ship. Always remember that good voyage planning can reduce stress, improve voyage efficiency, and provide additional safety. So, to continue our report, may I call on Deck Cadet Udtuan?
Good day, I'm Deck Cadet Udtuan. So, route validation. When a route planning process is completed, it is essential that the whole route is validated and checked against required safety limits by the master. So, in addition, if an ECDIS is to be used for route planning for the ship, safety and maintaining it on a safe route remains with the master and the watchkeeper navigator. Responsibility voyage planning. In most deep sea ships, it is customary for the master to delegate the initial responsibility for preparing the voyage plan to the officer responsible for navigational equipment, while responsibility for the plan in pilotage waters still rests with the ship, the pilot onboarding on before it practicable. It should be advising the master of any local discrepancies so that original plan can be updated. The master is responsible for the voyage plan and its execution, even when he has delegated the actual initial work to somebody else. So, principle of passage planning. There are four main stages in the passage planning of safe voyage. First, appraisal. Second, planning. Third, execution. And lastly, monitoring. Sometimes every detail of voyage plan has not been anticipated. So, however, this not detract from the value of the plan, which is to prepare the watchkeeper for what the courses the ship must follow. So, plan appraisal. Before planning can commence, the charts, publication, and other information suitable for the voyage will need to be gathered and studied to ensure that they are appropriate. So, decide what parameters will govern the route chosen. Rambline or great circle, loading restrictions, weather routing, traffic congestion, desired safety margins, and etc. So, we go to planning. So, study all the appropriate documents, long ocean courses and appropriate scale charts, and ensuring improved larger scale. An ocean passage may involve minimal preparation in terms of courses, distances, turning points, and for coastal and pilotage planning, plotting each course will over and point each course will over and alteration points should be marked on large-scale charts. So, planning controls. The route plan should take into account that need to monitor on ship position along the road. The voyage plan should incorporate the following. First, plan tracks to be made good, the distance of each leg, the desired bike speed, wheel over positions, any planned turning radius, maximum allowed of track margins, reference to any cross-track currents or tidal flow. Lastly, the main details of route plan should be recorded using sketches.
Good day, sir. This is the Cadet Anabia. So, in further explanation, voyage planning using electronic chart display system should be done on paper charts and supplementary by using electronic chart displayed on an electronic chart display and information system. And also, the use of ECDIS with digital raster charts can also be used in conjunction with paper charts and not as the sole navigational system. and fully comprehensive voyage planning involves both time and effort. The benefits may, however, be seen, and in terms of being prepared for all events, overall passage time and safety. So, voyage planning on ACDIS offers the navigator a number of automatic options, such as establishing a safety counter or safety area around own ship and checking ship's draft against available water depth throughout the proposed ship's route. And the violation of any preset criteria will trigger an alarm. So, both when the route is being planned and also when being executed. And in the hands of a qualified operator of the ACDIS and with all its automatic checking is a fine tool for safe voyage planning. However, safe voyage planning still remains the full responsibility of the captain, and sound procedures for checking the ACDIS must be established and followed at all times. So, use of RNC charts. So, RNC chart stands for raster chart display, and it is strongly recommended to do the whole planning on paper charts before transferring to the route or to the RNC chart, and retaining the paper charts as the primary navigation system. So, any known differences in chart datum between that used by the paper chart and by the electronic position system or the GPS and that of the electronic chart display system must be applied to fixes and any transferred positions. And also this should be not noted, this should be noted at the planning stage. And the complete passage plans as displayed on the electronic chart display system must be checked for safety, accuracy, and completeness before it can be used in conjunction with paper charts. So, how to transfer route plans to other navigational aids? So, first, you must carry and you must be taking care and must be taken when transferring route plans to electronic navigation aids such as GPS, and since the ship position is likely to be WGS 84. Second, route plans sent to GPS for monitoring cross-track errors and must be of the same datum. In this example, the ship's draft is 8 meters, and the route planning is done on datum EUR50 and ship positioning is done by GPS. Then the ship will run aground. And also, be aware that the routes and radar maps displayed on the radar will have been drawn with reference and to a fixed reference position and locked in position by the GPS. So care must be taken to ensure that these maps and position transferred to the radar have used the same datum. So errors in the relative and own ship's position transferred to the maps and route information and may result in display the information being incorrect, misleading. So how to plan ocean passages? So the following should be consulted. First, small-scale ocean planning and routing charts providing information on ocean currents, prevailing winds, and ice limit. Second, mnemonic ocean planning and projection of plotting Great Circle routes. Third, load line zones chart to ensure that the load line rules are complied with. Fourth, charts showing any relevant ship routing schemes. Fifth, ocean current charts. Sixth, ice information chart. Next is meteorological information chart, weather routing information, etc., and other available services along the route. Voyage planning in ocean waters should be normally allow for larger safety margins than coastal sailing. So, voyage planning in restricted water 1. So, compared with open waters, margin of safety in restricted waters can be critical, as the time available to take corrective action may be limited, and the size and maneuvering characteristics of the ship and any limitation that the ship may have, or including reliability problems with its propulsion and steering systems, may influence the route selected. Ship's routing schemes and reporting system along the route, as well as the vessel traffic services, should be taken into account, and coastal weather bulletins and navigational warning may require changes to the original route plan. So the next reporter.
Right, monitoring. Monitoring of ships' actual track should be done by visually and by all available means. In practice, a combination of one to two methods is normally used most of the time, but these should vary to suit the prevailing circumstances. The use of parallel index line provides continuous monitoring and should be used whenever possible. Other systems such as Actus Integrated Navigational System, etc. can provide a lot of useful information and assistance to the navigator both in monitoring and execution of maneuvers. However, it is easy to forget that these systems do fail from time to time, and usually when most needed, so a prudent navigator has backup procedures available at all means. Without continuous and effective monitoring, the most comprehensive route planning has little or no value. The next is pre-arrival planning. A preliminary plan should be prepared covering pilotage, waters, and the roles of the bridge team. Planning for anchoring of the shore or aborting port entry in the event of problems arising should features that will assist monitoring progress and include contingency measures in the event of primary equipment failure, poor visibility, and etc. The next one is navigation with pilot. Alright. In order to prepare for the pilot and information exchange between the ship and the port, controls should take place prior to boarding. Once the pilot is on board, details of the ship and the proposed passage plan will need to be discussed in detail. Ship maneuvering and ship particulars information should be available on the bridge. When the pilot is on board, he will assist with the navigation of the ship in local waters. The ship's position should still be checked by the watchkeeper and the pilot's actions should be at all times. Use of ship's routing. Alright. Ship routing measures have been introduced in a number of coastal waters to reduce the risk of collision between ships in areas of high traffic densities. Keep shipping away environmentally sensitive sea areas, reduce the risk of grounding in shallow waters. Up-to-date nautical precautions should always be consulted for relevant navigation information. Compliance with traffic separation schemes, whether recommended or mandatory, provides assistance in congested waters and should be followed whenever possible. The next is IMO ship routing systems. The purpose of ship's routing is to improve the safety of navigation and converging in areas where the density of traffic is great or where freedom of movement of shipping is inhibited by restricted sea room, the existence of obstructions to navigation, limited depths, or unfavorable meteorological conditions. The following elements are used in the IMO routing system. Separation of traffic in opposing courses, traffic lanes, separation zones, roundabouts, inshore traffic zone, recommended route, deep waters, and etc. Now, the ship routing systems, right? The number of coastal states have established ship reporting systems in order to monitor the ship in their waters. In addition, reporting systems may be used for search and rescue purposes. The master should comply with the requirement of ship reporting systems and report all information required. In the future, a worldwide ship reporting system is expected to be made compulsory for all ships. Lastly, vessel traffic services or VTS. The main purpose of a VTS is to make sure shipping safer in a particular area by monitoring the traffic and provide relevant and upload information to all ships in the area. Information about posts offering VTS can be found in Sail Directions and VTS Port Guide. Now, here are our references. So, as we all see, here are references, and thank you so much for listening, and we hope you learned something.